Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode, I should say, Express Yourself with Fern. And today I wanted to talk about a completely different subject that caught my attention online. And this is about this woman, Erika Kirk, who lost her husband recently in a tragic murder. I mean, I think everybody knows about that. But what actually caught my attention is that I was reading something online and she was somehow connected to a nonprofit organization that she ran in Romania, sometimes in the 2000s. So that caught my attention. As I mentioned before, I am originally from Romania, so I felt some kind of connection to this, and I felt that this should be addressed from my perspective and my experience and what I know. So just a little background, back in the communist era in Romania, the government decided that they wanted to spike up the population, so they banned contraception and they basically banned abortion. So you couldn't, I mean, whether you could afford a kid or you couldn't afford a kid, or you could not, you had to have a kid. The problem was that a lot of people couldn't afford the kids, so these kids ended up in these orphanages. And unfortunately, because of the shortcomings of the country back then and the way the government was running everything under the communists, these orphanages were, overcrowded, they were underfunded, and these kids eventually ended up in like miserable conditions. And that caught the attention of the, the international media and so on. So long story short, people, from different countries in Europe and a lot of people from US started to help, and they became interested in adopting these kids, and that's kind of like, I think where, Erika Kirk got involved on the same premise, trying to help these kids, unprivileged kids and orphanages and all this stuff. So I think that's how she began this sort of like nonprofit. I think it was called Romanian Angels. And the sad part is that I noticed that she's been accused of trafficking these kids, and I mean, there's something in here. She has some kind of ministry, I guess, was snatching children only to send them straight into sex and organ trafficking networks. I mean, that's sad. That's a sad sort of like accusation to put on her. And the bad thing is that none of this was confirmed, none of this was validated by the Romanian authorities. I dug a little bit into this, and there's nothing that supports this. And I even read Romanian news. I kind of dug up a little bit in Romanian news so I can see if there's anything, and there was nothing like that. I mean, as a matter of fact, they had nothing but positive things to say about her and her network and organization, because again, they were helping these kids that really needed help, and the fact that they tried to attach that to her, I found that very disturbing, actually. And then the other things that I noticed, I mean, I don't understand the hate against this woman. She lost her husband tragically, on national TV. She's got a couple of kids, they're young. Then I noticed some story about they were accusing her of something with the vice president, the way, she was hugging him. And it's insane. I don't know what people have against this woman, and why there's so much sort of like hate against her all of a sudden. I don't even think she was that public when her husband, was popular and was part of this Turning Point USA. But man, like one major tragedy, and then it just triggers so much hate. I don't understand that, but I wanted to sort of like put together a short video about it, because I don't understand where it comes from. And like I said, I mean, she seems like a normal person. You know, she's a grieving wife, and I mean, and like all this hate is coming at her, all kinds of accusations. I mean, I even seen something about uh, her being part of a plot to assassinate the husband. Insane. Anyway, I thought again the Romanian orphanage and the Romanian sort of like kids caught my attention, and I felt that I should sort of talk about this a little bit. Let me know your thoughts on Erika Kirk and all these like accusations that are happening around her. Um, Let me know your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel so we can have more discussions and express ourselves. Thank you.